Hello there. This week, I'm going to talk about the 7 Hermetic principles. I want to draw your attention to these ancient laws because they provide a succinct framework of how this reality functions. Although not perfect, when they're fully comprehended, they can give us an understanding of how best to navigate our way through life, helping us to become the master rather than simply at the mercy of events. So just to give you a bit of background, the Hermetic principles were originally sourced from the Emerald tablets and the Corpus Hermeticum, dating back to around 100 AD. Although a lot of people think that the ideas themselves originally are much, much older. Hermetism can be attributed to the Greek god Hermes and the Egyptian god Thoth. Now, some say that both of these gods are essentially the same energy because both are associated with similar things: philosophy, science, alchemy, occult wisdom, magic, and they both even have the archetype of the trickster within them. This does kind of lead us to wonder if we should perhaps even take these rules 100% seriously. I still think that they're worth paying attention to, though. And so just to get back to some history, the most widely known modern text is the Kybalion, and this was published in 1908 and was most likely authored by New Thought adherent and occultist William Walker Atkinson. When we gain a better understanding of how the universe works, we can better navigate a path to self-mastery and live in harmony with our higher purpose. I'm going to outline each of the principles in more detail and give some practical examples of how this can relate to everyday life. Principle number 1, mentalism. The all is mind. The universe is mental. The all can be defined as all there is, or spirit. Essentially, we are all the meditations or imaginings of the all, and we are contained in the living mind of the all. When this idea is applied with the law of correspondence, it essentially means that the mind has power over the energetic and material planes of existence. Our thoughts and our imagination create reality. If we can master our mind and our thoughts, we can create the realities that we want. All this considered, the Kybalion does warn against the folly of using this to deny how we actually feel. We must learn to alchemize our thoughts, our energy, our traumas to truly change the patterns which lead to outcomes. It's important to remember that the largest part of our mind is the subconscious. All eventualities exist inside the mind of the all. If we want to work towards our highest path in this life, It's important to meditate and contemplate and look for messages from the all so that we can choose the best path for us. Of course, we have free will, so we can go in any direction we want, and the all is going to provide us with the according lessons, dependent on our choices. As with all of these principles, it can be used in a negative way upon those who aren't aware of it. So we can think of examples of advertising, symbols, subliminal messaging, and this is everywhere today. If we don't take the reins of our own mind, then someone else is going to manipulate you to behave in a way that is advantageous to them. And it's often not going to be in your best interests. Principle number 2, correspondence. As above, so below. As below, so above. There is harmony between the physical plane, the mental plane, and the spiritual plane. We can understand the macrocosm by understanding the microcosm, and vice versa. The same patterns in creation can be seen everywhere. For example, rivers and the capillaries of our blood vessels, atoms and solar systems. Similarly, your outer world reflects your inner world. So if you think that people are generally trustworthy, your outer world is going to bring you in contact with trustworthy people. But conversely, if you think people are generally untrustworthy, you're going to be much more likely to encounter untrustworthy people. So we must be really careful to work through our shadows. Otherwise, we are constantly going to see them in other people. We are going to get treated by the world the way that we expect to be treated. So we must be careful to do the inner work. If we improve the inner being, then the outer world is going to be a reflection of that. Principle number 3, vibration. Nothing rests. Everything moves. Everything vibrates. Science teaches us that the most solid seeming objects are actually not solid. They are made up of moving atoms and particles. Everything inside of the all has its own energy signature and vibration. Vibration in this world means that everything is in a constant state of flux and change. Nothing remains still or the same. Thoughts and emotions also have their own vibrations. And these vibrations are non-local to the person that is thinking or feeling them. And as such, we are able to influence the feelings and the thoughts of those that are around us, or even perhaps non-locally as well, if we're trained in it. So I'm sure that most of you have heard of the law of attraction, like attracts like. So we're all attracting situations and circumstances that are a match to our vibration. If we can increase our vibration, then we can attract better situations into our experience. Principle number 4, polarity. Everything is dual. Everything has poles. Everything has its pair of opposites. Like and unlike are the same. Opposites are identical in nature, but different in degree. All extremes meet. All truths are but half-truths. All paradoxes will be reconciled. Everything that is in existence has a positive and a negative pole. We are living in the realm of duality, and we experience this as contrast. So light and darkness, good and evil, yin and yang. We must know one extreme to truly understand the other. But at the core layer of everything, all is one. Therefore, seeming opposites are really just the same. They're just a different degree. So if we use the example of love and hate, they can be seen as diametrically opposed. But when we come to the center and look in the middle, we're with like and dislike to a point where we can hardly really tell the difference. And the same can be true of any pair of opposites, hot and cold, wet and dry, fear and courage. The only thing is that they must be in the same category to be used in polarity. So courage is not the opposite of ingratitude. There is the paradox that all truths are but half-truths. So what this really means is that we all have our own unique perspective of everything, and no two people are going to have an identical perception of the same event or the same thing or circumstances. And this helps us because when we truly understand the law of polarity, we can use it to transmute negative states of being. Again, it's important not to use this to just spiritually bypass our true feelings. But when we truly embody the realization that there's a positive and a negative aspect to everything that we encounter, we can use this to get our feelings back to center, to a more neutralized state. Principle number 5, rhythm. Everything flows in and out. Everything has its tides. All things rise and fall. The pendulum swing manifests in everything. The measure of the swing to the right is the measure of the swing to the left. Rhythm compensates. So everything in life is rhythmical and cyclical in nature. So we can think about day and night or the seasons that we have in a year. Nothing lasts forever in this existence. Nations rise and fall, as do governments, ideas, philosophies. So this is a comfort. If we have faced hardships in life, then they're unlikely to last forever. Good times and bad times will always happen. Everything has its time. One state of being flows into a different state of being. Within ourselves, we also might notice that we have our own rhythms. Sometimes we might feel really outgoing and have lots of energy to complete tasks. And other times we might feel more inward and introspective. So we'll prefer really like lower energy activities. It's really best not to resist our natural cycles, but to be the observer of them and work with them, choosing activities that are best suited to our own personal rhythms. Principle number 6, cause and effect. Every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause. Everything happens according to law. Chance is but a name for law not recognized. There are many planes of causation, but nothing escapes the law. This simply means that nothing can happen without a reason, and there are no chance events, even though it may appear that way. Therefore, there's always a reason for every occurrence. And, this law also states our thoughts and our actions create consequences in our lives. And this knowledge helps free us from the victim mentality, because it helps us see that we have a role in the circumstances that we are experiencing. We can think of this law too in terms of karma, and this can operate over many lifetimes. So it can explain why some people seem to suffer so much in one lifetime, and some seem to incur much less difficulties. This law can really help you see yourself as a creator in your life, and it helps you take responsibility. Because if you can modify your thoughts and your actions, it can really help create better circumstances for yourself in the future. Of course, we have to temper this with some self-compassion. We can't take responsibility for everything, and we are co-creators, not the sole creator. There are some things that are just outside of our control. Principle number 7, gender. Gender is in everything. Everything has its masculine and feminine principles. Gender manifests on all planes. So this is basically saying that everything in existence has masculine and feminine properties. So we can think of the yin and the yang symbol. Even if something is mostly masculine, it will contain some feminine energy, and vice versa. So we can think of this in terms of the human body and the right and the left brain. The right being more creative and intuitive, embodying the feminine aspect, and the left being more logical and problem solving, embodying the masculine energy. Masculine and feminine energy are attracted to one another. We can think of like the poles of a magnet. And really, it is the combination of both masculine and feminine aspects that is really relevant in creation and helps to create something that is greater than the sum of the two parts. So we can think about just how we create things in our lives. We need the feminine qualities to imagine and intuit what is right for us, but then we need the masculine energy to practically do something and to create a logical plan. So we can think about how we use these energies to create things in our lives. We need the feminine qualities of imagination and intuition to know what is the right thing to create and what is the right direction to go in. But then we need the masculine energy that is all about practicality and making a logical plan and doing to bring our ideas into manifestation. This concludes all the 7 Hermetic principles. Incorporating the Hermetic principles into your day-to-day can be truly life-changing. I know it has been for me. They really provide a framework which we can use to understand and connect with spirit. And they can really help us unlock our true potential. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like and subscribe button. If you would like a private session with me, please visit my website, cosmicfairy777.com. The link is in the description below. And have yourselves a wonderful day, and namaste.